Drop a like to this video if you're a fan of Pawn Stars. Hey there everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video on Film Screeny. Even the most experienced pawn shop owners are not immune to scammers and can end up making blunders or falling into the traps of con artists. And the cast of History Channel's famous reality show Pawn Stars aren't an exception. Let's have a look at some of the times the Pawn Stars got absolutely slaughtered by scammers. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. Alright, let's get to it. Number 6. Cubic Zirconius. According to the old man Richard Harrison, he has been deceived most by fake diamonds. When the reproductions of the famous cubic zirconia diamonds started hitting the shops in the 70s and 80s, many pawn shop owners got conned. Richard Harrison was told that he blew $30,000 on these fake diamonds. Corey Harrison, his grandson, also did a segment on History Channel on how to spot such fakes. And even though identifying fake ones may not be difficult in these times, it was in the earlier days. Number 5. Fake diamonds. Rick Harrison once told this story in the segment that he was once fooled into buying fake diamonds by a smart-looking man in a sharp suit, and who answered all of Rick's questions correctly and even had a receipt for the diamonds. Rick bought the diamonds from him for a jaw-dropping $40,000. Everything looked fine, however, after 3 days the cops showed up at the pawn shop and informed Rick that the diamonds he bought were stolen. The thief was put behind bars and sentenced, and the victim got her diamonds back, but unfortunately Rick's $40,000 went down the drain. Number 4. Fake Rolex watches. Corey Harrison may have worked in the pawn business since his childhood, but he had to learn a couple of lessons through the rough road of being scammed as well. Corey told in a segment that while working the night shifts in the store as an 18-year-old teenager, he got conned into buying 6 fake Rolex watches, and this blunder caused him to lose $40,000, which pissed off his family. Number 3. The Jimi Hendrix Experience. A lot of people come through the doors of the gold and silver pawn shop with guitars to pawn or sell. A man once came to the store with a guitar that he claimed once belonged to the legendary Jimi Hendrix, and you could see the awe in Rick's face and the dollar signs in his eyes. Rick called in an expert to have a look at the guitar, and thus its authenticity was confirmed, and the expert said it could easily be sold for $1 million. Rick offered the seller $450,000, which he refused, but as he turned to leave, Rick moved up to $600,000, but the seller didn't budge. Strangely, it was discovered that the guitar was bought by the expert himself later on and put on an auction. Did he make a deal with the seller behind the camera? This whole situation seemed quite a bit shady. Number 2. Fake Willie Mays uniform. Big Hoss once truly made a big blunder after wasting more than $30,000 on a baseball uniform that turned out to be inauthentic, which Corey himself thought was worn in a game by the baseball legend Willie Mays himself. The uniform showed some clear red flags, such as not being messy like a game-worn uniform would normally be, something that was also pointed out by Chumlee, as Willie Mays was known for sliding around in the dirt and playing rough, and had also had a reputation of being a complete badass on the field. The seller also did not have any kind of paperwork confirming the authenticity of the uniform, but Corey decided to take a risk which would not turn out well for him. Not only did they discover that the uniform was fake, they were only able to sell it for $19,250 on an auction, suffering a loss of more than $10,000. It was also found out by an expert that the uniform was never worn in-game by Willie Mays and was probably just something that someone's grandma knitted for them. Number 1. The Wells Fargo Strongbox. As rarely as it may occur, Rick made the blunder of spending money on an item that he wasn't sure about the authenticity of. Rick blew $450 on what he believed was a Wells Fargo strongbox from the 19th century. Even though Rick did not buy the contents of the box, he still decided to buy the box itself in hopes of making a profit. But then he only had his hopes crushed by an expert who frequently made appearances on the show, who called the strongbox a complete fantasy piece, and decided to sprinkle some salt on Rick's wounds by saying that it was one of the most fake items out there. The guys of the famous pawn shop may be quite experienced and look invincible in their field, but even they can end up making mistakes sometimes. These were some of the times when the Pawn Stars got slaughtered by scammers. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then let us know by liking the video. Stick around for more amazing content, as we'll soon be seeing you in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.